this. He's like, oh, I just got an email that everything's down. I'm like, okay, thanks, genius. So wasted an hour of my life, guys. I sent out 2 text alerts that said, hey, if we get this thing up before end of market close, I'll send out another text alert and saying, hey, let's jump in the room. But for right now, folks, I wasted a good part of my day trying to unfornicate this, and it ain't unfornicated. So my apologies, but it's on their end, not mine. If we can't get this up by market close, we'll just do it 1 o'clock tomorrow. So again, my apologies. How about this? If this were Hillary Clinton, they'd be throwing rose petals all over the place, right? So Mike Pompeo, who was the New York Times gave shit to the other day, like, oh my God, Donald Trump's pulling out of the this Iran Accord, and a new Secretary of State's nowhere to be found. He's AWOL. He wasn't AWOL, man. He was on an airplane picking up 3 Americans. Is that okay with you guys? Is that okay with you, New York Times, for him to be AWOL, to be rescuing 3 people, 3 Americans? Disgusting publication. Can't stand people like that. This is getting more serious, guys. Israel mounted some serious. I was on the phone with a buddy of mine this morning. He's like, dude, they pounded the shit out of Syrian targets. Israel's done. Now that Trump's more or less given them the green light, they've told Syria that if you don't boot Iran out of your country, we will do it for you. Israel's blistering counterattack to some Iranian rocket fire at its soldiers early Thursday morning. So these guys light off a couple bottle rockets. You don't tug on Superman's cape. If you keep tugging on Superman's cape and he knocks you out, don't sit there and cry. It's your fault. So this is big. I get we're having this another rip your face off rally day, right? Again, Moose and Rocco, there's about 3 people on the floor of these exchanges buying this market higher. Okay, and we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes here. Oil starting to waver a little bit following the sanctions. I mean, Brent was above 70. Now we're below 70. The 3-year is hovering around 3. I'm seeing a lot of canaries in the coal mine, but guess what, man? You have to trade the tape you have, not the way you want. Look at this. This at least was a blue-collar climb in the Q1 earnings. What is this climb based on? Can somebody tell me? Peace in the Middle East? No. Oil dropping? No. Really, really great earnings. Well, we had really, really great earnings back here. What are we waiting for, Q2? How about this? Record buybacks help steady a wobbly market. So you know what might save this wobbly market? Tim Cook buying back $100 billion of his shares. We know that for a fact, folks, in the past year, 2 years, that share buybacks, folks, obviously reduce the number of shares in circulation, right? Duh, it's math. And here's the other part of that math. It artificially inflates earnings per share. So it looks like you're doing a great job. And guess what? Many CEOs love share buybacks. Why? Because a lot of their bonuses are based on this, right? So it's interesting that all of a sudden, mysteriously, a ton more share buybacks. So does a share buyback make a rally solid? Well, if you're in these companies, it ain't too shabby, right? I don't mind I don't own stock, but I wouldn't mind being in a company where the CEO comes out and says, hey, we're going to buy a shit pot of our shares back. Great. And it does this. I'm going to tell you again, aside from being on go-to training support for an hour, talking to my folks today, as with the pop yesterday, this is a little algorithmic. Look at the last time we popped through 50s with a lot of airspeed. What happens? A pretty freaking hard fall. I have seen nobody tell me that Steve Mnuchin and Larry Kudlow have solved the trade war problem with China. To the contrary, I've heard bad. I've heard that the Chinese have read the art of the deal, and they're willing to walk away too or start kicking us in the teeth. Breaking news, Wynn's gaming license in Macau is revoked, or they're dumping more steel. There's a lot of bad things that can happen here, folks. So I get this market. When the market's not doing what you think it should be doing, you're wrong, not the market. So I've been bearish here. And I'm not going to say I'm wrong because I don't fit. What's this, just going to keep going higher? On what? This is May, folks. I'm telling you, I've been in a firm where literally people go, don't screw it up. I'm going to the Hamptons for the next couple months. And you got junior people sitting on the floor. This is a low volume rally, but guess what? Hey, Wiz, you gotta trade the tape you have, not the tape you want. We are below. Look at this. We're almost down at a 13 handle on the VIX. Iran yesterday, Iranian lawmakers did what? On the floor of their nice parliament or whatever they call it, they burnt American flags and said death to America, and they burned the nuclear deal. Yeah, that should work out. Q1 earnings, which were phenomenal, failed to lift this market. Now, I get it. We're getting a spate of good economic news. The unemployment and the jobs numbers last week and stuff like that. Some inflation data that was actually not too, it was a little Goldilocks-ish. So, hey, maybe the Fed won't be raising interest rates anytime soon. So the 10-year actually fell a little bit. So I get it. And the VIX, whenever you see this type of headline, VIX breaks below key technical level, don't be the person that goes, wow, that's got to be time to short the VIX, because you'll end up like one of these people, broke. Let's short. Look at the VIX broke a key level. It's staying down here forever, and then you get wiped out. Okay, this is a key. This is a key. I'm not going to do it today. We'll talk about it and analyze your trade tomorrow. Give me one more day to see if we're going to be bullish on vol, because we could. I think it's crazy. I don't think we should be. We could get into another area here of low volatility. Peace, love, and understanding. Everything's great, Wiz, until it's not. And then we freak the hell out and a lot of stuff goes on. The trade war fears have not gone away. As a matter of fact, I think, remember, another Wizism here. You're getting a lot for the money today. The market only cares when it cares. So when CNBC or the Wall Street Journal decide to come out with a story, trade war fears renewed, then the Dow's down 300, 400, 500 points. But these two past up 200-point days on the Dow ain't conviction, man. First of all, there's some algos involved here. And when the smart people leave the firm, trust me, a lot of the average people sit there and just let the boxes, okay, well, it went above the 50. It's a buy signal, so I'll just sit here and watch the green buttons and us make money. Until somebody probably, one of the partners checks in via the phone and say, hey, man, we need to get flat. I'm actually reading the Wall Street Journal, laying at, out here in East Hampton, and things ain't super good. So let's get flat. So I remain bearish, but obviously, so here's what you do. When you have a strategic mindset like that, like bearish, when it's disagreeing with this type of chart, you sit on your hands. I'm not going to get in here and all of a sudden with both feet and say, oh my God, I'm bullish like you read about in Change Your Mind magazine. I'm not. Okay. And folks, I'm overall a bull. I think markets go up over time. Yay, capitalism. Let me get my cowbell here. But not, I'm telling you, man, when you do this for long enough, you feel it in your knees when there's a storm coming. And I've been showing you the article that says, hey, these bounces off the moving averages are getting lower and lower. So technically, this is a breakout. One day, a breakout does not make two. Yes, it's usually three for me. Three either above a Keltner channel, 3 signals, or 3 above a moving average. So let's see what tomorrow brings. It's a Friday. If we have a rip-your-face rally on a Friday, then all bets are off. I think we're off for the races. So, all right, man. I will be back with Friday's market wrap-up. Again, I apologize for the GoToWebinar. Straytrons, man. We have some Straytron issues at TGO every once in a while. This time it's GoToTraining, GoToWebinar. Pretty amazing that the dude in India didn't know that it was down system-wide. I'm like, wouldn't that be like at the top of your screen? He's like, oh, well, we just got an email. I'm like, okay, great. So, all right, folks, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and happy Thursday. We'll see you.